Welcome to Lecture 8. In this lecture, we're going to talk about self-determination for individuals with autism, but really self-determination applies to all individuals. So what is self-determination? The definition from Waymeyer, who is one of the early advocates of self-determination and looking at it as it pertains to individuals with disabilities. His definition says that self-determination are volitional actions that enable one to act as the primary causal agent in one's life and to maintain or improve one's quality of life. So volitional actions, that means that actions that the individual takes by themselves and that they want to take, um, or things that they want to happen. So it doesn't necessarily have to be things that they do independently, but it's things that they want to happen. And it enables them to act as the primary causal agent in one's life, so that they are the person that causes things to happen in their life, that directs their life, and to maintain or improve one's quality of life. So it allows them to make their life be what they want it to be. And those are really important things when we're looking at individuals with autism or any disability or any person, that we see that we um, can make things happen in our life and that we can create the life we want. Some of the characteristics of self-determination, so someone who is self-determined will have some essential characteristics. Autonomy, so they are able to act on their own independently. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are able to be independent. You can be very disabled and even physically disabled and not be able to eat, sleep, eat, bathe, dress yourself independently. But you do have the ability to direct others to say what you want to eat, when you want to eat it, what you want to wear, if you want to get dressed, when you're going to do things, when you're not going to do things. So that autonomy is very important. Even if it's not something that you're able to do independently, you are directing what happens. Self-regulation is another important characteristic. So that's the ability to be able to look at what you're doing and regulate what you're doing. Psychological empowerment is a really important component. That's that internal locus of control. That's where um, you know that what you do can have an effect on the environment around you. What you do will cause change to happen, can have an effect. That's an internal locus of control. Someone with an external locus of control doesn't see themselves as having any power to change things in their environment. What happens is because of what other people say or do, directions other people give. They rely on others to make things happen, to tell them what to do. If you have someone who you see a lot of learned helplessness with, they have an external locus of control. They don't see themselves as being able to affect change. Change happens from other people. If you see someone who often blames others for things that happen, it's never their fault. It's always other people's fault. It's always things that happen outside. They are exhibiting an external locus of control. They don't see that what they do can affect what happens. And that's an important consideration to take when you're determining how to address those concerns. And then finally, a characteristic of self-determination is self-realization. You understand yourself, you know what your strengths are, you know what your needs and weaknesses are so that you can use your strengths to overcome your weaknesses. And you can apply all those things to be able to navigate successfully in the world and get your needs met and get the things that you want and maintain the quality of life that you would like to have. There's some component elements of self-determined behavior. So things like choice making, being able to make choices, to make decisions about your life, to be able to solve a problem. So to know that you're at here, you want to go there, and you can figure out how to get there. To set goals and then to attain those goals. To be able to observe oneself and evaluate oneself and then reinforce oneself. Tell yourself you did a good job. Give yourself the candy because you finished the work. that internal locus of control that I was talking about before. Positive attributions of efficacy and outcomes expectations. That I can be effective, I can make things happen, and I can make the change I want happen. If I want something to happen, I can make it happen. That self awareness and self knowledge. So, I am very skilled at talking to people and getting other people to do what I want. I'm not so good at this. And so I might need some help with that, or I might have to work around and use my strengths of getting people to do what I want to be able to overcome that weakness and have them help me to do those things. It's really important that we teach self determined behavior, and it's really important that we teach self determined behavior as early as possible. Now, of course, what a 3 or 5 year old is going to be able to do and at their development level is very different from what a 20 or 22-year-old is going to be able to do. However, when we're thinking about teaching those um, self determined behaviors, you really can start quite young so that as individuals get older, they're building that self determined behavior. They're establishing that internal locus of control that they understand that they can make things happen in the world, that they can be responsible, that they can affect change and get what they want and get what they need. So, when you're teaching self determined behavior, you want them to understand that their actions reflect autonomy, self regulation, empowerment, and self realization. You're really working to create an internal locus of control. So, you always want to be thinking about that when you're working with individuals with autism. Are you helping them to understand that what they do can cause changes in their world and can help them to get what they want? That it's not about others controlling them, that they are able to control. And are you giving them the opportunities for them to be able to do that? So you want to promote self confidence. You want to give them plenty of choice making opportunities. Um, let them choose things whenever and wherever they can. Look at the work they have to do. Does it matter really what work they do first and what work they do last? If it doesn't, let them choose. Does it matter what happens in their day? There may be some things that are in the schedule and have to happen when they happen, but there may be other things where they can choose. So, as much as possible, providing choice making opportunity and providing opportunities to choose, and you can do this from very young ages. Um, Allow them to set goals. So what is their goal? If you're giving them a worksheet, what do you want to go? What's your goal for this? Do you want to complete all the problems? Do you want to complete one problem? If they say one problem, let them set that goal. Let them do it. And then as they achieve their goals, you can encourage them to set larger goals, bigger goals. But you're working to develop that self confidence. So you're teaching them to set goals and then helping them to achieve them. And if they don't achieve them, you're helping them to look at what they did, to have that self knowledge to figure out what went wrong so they can set a different goal and meet that goal. Give them plenty of problem solving opportunities. So make sure you're providing opportunities for them to solve problems at the level that they can do so that they can begin to get that self confidence. If there's a problem, they can try it and they can solve it, they can fix it. They know that they can begin to understand that they do that instead of always looking for others to solve their problems for them. And then finally, self initiation. They don't have to wait for somebody to tell them that they can do something or that they should do something. They can self initiate, they can start things themselves. So you always want to be thinking when you're providing instruction throughout the day, throughout whatever age level, how are you helping that individual to become more self competent and to have a better sense of self determination, to be a more self determined individual. And I can't stress the importance of this enough because there's research to show that the more self determined an individual is, the better post school outcomes they will have. If they know that they can control things and they can make things happen, it's more likely that they are going to have a successful post school outcome. And that's what we want for all the individuals with autism that we work with. So, promoting self determination and teaching self determined behavior from very young, right the whole way through school, is a really vital thing. And it's something that can go across anything that you're teaching, any intervention that you're doing. you can include components of self determined behavior.